Now that sports betting is legal in 36 states, sportsbooks are making so much money, and I want in on the action. Now I have a loose understanding of how sportsbooks work, but the part that intrigues me is how they set odds for thousands of games every day. Millions of dollars are on the line, and it seems like any given game, setting the odds wrong could mean millions in losses. So how do they get it right basically every time? I figured the best way to understand it would be to start my own sportsbook and attempt to set odds for one game and one game only, that being the biggest game of the year, the Super Bowl. In 2022, $83 billion in wagers were placed from January through the end of November. And from that $83 billion, sportsbooks around the country generated $6.5 billion off of that, which is a 65.4% increase from the same period in 2021. I mean, I'd be happy with just a little morsel of that. $1 million, please, sir. This year's Super Bowl consists of two powerhouses, the Kansas City Chiefs versus the Philadelphia Eagles. So here's the plan. I'm gonna dive into how sportsbooks work and how the odds are set every single day. Then go through the process of setting my own odds for the Super Bowl. Then once those are set, I will get my unassuming coworkers to bet on the game. Then we'll let it ride and see how much money I lose or possibly win. Now first, I gotta figure out how sportsbooks work and why they seem to always take my money. After a couple days of reading, watching, and listening to everything I could get my hands on, this is what I've learned, or somewhat of what I've learned. There are two kinds of sportsbooks: market maker sportsbooks and retail sportsbooks. The retail sportsbooks are the big guys: Caesars, BetMGM, DraftKings, FanDuel, Barstools, those guys. And apparently, the big guys don't set their own odds. They either pay a market maker book to do it, or just copy what the other sportsbooks set the lines at and follow the pack. I mean, it's that easy. I guess we can just end this video. That's how it's done. Joking, it's a lot more complicated. Trust me. But that's the main idea with retail sports books. We'll come back to them later, but let's talk about market maker books. These are the ones that matter the most. A market maker is a sports book that specializes in a market like college football or motorsports. They will put all their focus essentially on one league, and they know every line of every game that's ever been played. What's interesting though is that most lines from a market maker book that goes to retail are like a black box. If the line moves, it's because the market maker moved the line on their end, and it changes the retail book's back end. Retail books rarely touch a line. What they will do though is limit bets to drive down their exposure. If they see one side of a bet as being overloaded, they will take the limits down from, let's say, $10,000 to $500 per bet, which deters bettors from betting that side of a bet. That's the high-level light version overview between the two sportsbooks. For my purposes, I want to know how lines are created, so I'm going to run my sportsbook like a market maker sportsbook. So I got to set some lines. Now what I found was that market makers run a price discovery to set their line. And price discovery is the act of determining a common price for an asset. Essentially setting the price at zero and seeing how far the price moves one way or another until the buyers level off around a certain price. So setting the spread for a game, they start at PK, aka zero. Then they take that bet to a bettor and put small limits on it, say $100. Now if they were setting the spread for the Chiefs versus Eagles, a bettor might place $100 on the Eagles at pick'em. Now the line moves down to -1. Then the book takes it to another bettor who takes the Eagles again, and it puts the spread at -2. But say someone takes the Chiefs at +2, the line now moves back to Eagles -1. They continue this process until the line settles and the bets slow down, meaning the bettors don't see a major opportunity to win betting either side. That means the book has found the line. That's when they make the line public.
Go spread the word.
Sometimes the market makers come out not at pick'em, aka zero, but at their own line. A line they've already analyzed themselves, thinking that's where it'll stabilize once they run a price discovery. And so they start off the price discovery at that line instead of zero, which, to make things interesting, is what I'm gonna do for my sportsbook. So first I wanna check the previous Super Bowl odds. How has it been played out for the last couple of years? So I printed out every spread for the last, basically to the beginning of the very first Super Bowl in 1967. Starting with last year, the LA Rams were -4.5, and then the year before, Kansas City was -3, and so on and so on. Everything was really tight. So following that trend and having watched a lot of football this season, I honestly think the Eagles look amazing. I'm not a fan, so there's no biases here, but they look good. So my gut, I really think my gut is telling me -3. Now before I run a price discovery, I also want the over-under to do a price discovery. Now as much as people will say Eagles defense is gonna be amazing, I hope this is a major scoring game. So I wanna set this high. Let's call it 49. And I would honestly wanna probably take the over. 49 might be low. Another aspect to this is the weather. I mean, the weather is going to be perfect in Arizona. 76 degrees for the game at 4:30 local time there in Glendale. Beautiful weather, lots of scoring, nice pitch. The pitch even, I saw this, but they took the pitch out of the stadium. They can just slide it out. They got some sun. It came on back in. 49 feels good. That's what I'm setting this thing at. Now that I have my main 2 lines I wanted to set, I'm gonna start a price discovery. I'm gonna send these lines to a couple people back in Morning Brew offices that I know are sports betting aficionados and degenerates, and we will leave out any biases. I'm looking at you, Eagle fans. I don't need all that. But I'm gonna put this, send it to them, and we'll see how it goes. And while I wait for some responses, one of the best parts about the Super Bowl are the prop bets. Now, I don't wanna get carried away with the coin flip and the Kool-Aid color, but there is one that I always love. It sets the tone for the whole night of betting. The national anthem linked prop bet. Oh, sick. I'm not gonna do that. And singing it this year is the man who has a voice like Fergie and Jesus, Chris Stapleton. Now, I am a huge fan, so I cannot wait for this one. However, how long is he gonna drag this out, or how fast is he gonna do it? If we look at some past performances, it might give us a clear indication of how fast he might sing this or how long he will drag it out. Demi Lovato did it in 1:49. And then we had Gladys Knight right before that at 2:01. And then Pink at 1:59. So we're right around that 2-minute mark is a clear indication of where people are going to be doing it. Alicia Keys, 2:36. Oh, no. Let's look back at Mariah Carey, 1:56. So right about that 2-minute mark. Who's the fastest? Holy, Neil Diamond. Neil Diamond did it in 1 minute and 2 seconds. How is that possible? It seems like everyone's right about 2 minutes. It's got to be 2 minutes. Chris, do it in 2 minutes, please. Over under set at 2 minutes. We'll see what happens once it goes. Price discovery is in. I have the results. Drum roll, please. -3. Ooh, I nailed it, dude. I nailed that one. Right at -3. That's where everyone seems to be betting properly. The next step, though, I want to check mine against Vegas. What is the Vegas market maker books doing, and what is the retail books following suit? I want to see, did I really nail this? Because if so, we might have a sports book. And just to note, I'm going to move this to -3.5 instead of going to -2.5. I don't want to have a push. I either want to win big or I want to lose big. So I got to check it against Vegas. -1.5 for fit. Okay, I'm on the right side, but 1.5? What? No. Hey, -1.5. All right. Over under. I had mine at 49. They got 51. I got 49, and they have 51 as the over as a total. Over under. 51 makes complete total sense because I said I thought it was going to be over on the 49, but I think 49 was the thing. Listen, -3.5 Eagles, total of a 49. Over under, that's the spread for me. That's the spread for this sports book. So now that I have my spread, my over, and my national anthem link, I'm gonna compile this in a form and send it out to any Morning Brew employee who would like to bet. But to make things more interesting, I don't want them to be small bettors. I want whales. I want the high rollers. So everyone's gonna be betting $1 million on each bet. $1 million on the spread, $1 million on the over under, and $1 million on the national anthem prop bet. Now each of these bets are set at -110, meaning you have to bet $110 to win $100. So in this case, each $1 million bet can win $910,000, meaning their payout per bet will be $1,910,000. We gotta raise the stakes. Go big or go into debt and file for bankruptcy, I guess. So it's Sunday morning right now, the day of the Super Bowl. And I just checked the bets. It's been going for a couple of days, collecting. We have $102 million in wagers right now. Ruh-roh. Oh boy, this could go terribly. This could go badly. So, I guess all there's left to do is let it rock.
6 seconds left in Super Bowl 57 regulation. Hurts takes the snap. Clock is going to be out of time, and the pass is going to be underthrown. It's incomplete. It's incomplete. The Chiefs are champions of Super Bowl 57.
That was unexpected. Woo! What a game. So how much did the sportsbook win? Let's start with the national anthem. The national anthem I set at 2 minutes. 2 minutes exactly, and out of the Brew bettors, we had 17 for over and 17 for under. Dead split right down the middle. And how long did Chris sing? 2 minutes and 1 second. One second. Oh my gosh. 17 bettors won and 17 bettors lost. For the total, I set the over under at 49. That felt right. I felt good about that. What was it? 73. This was a high-scoring game. It was 38-35. That blew it. That smashed the over. Absolutely smashed it. However, this was a big moment for the sports book. The over was 14 people. The under was 20. 20 of you missed that bet. Cha-ching! The house always wins. We won on the total, but did we win on the spread? The Eagles were a favorite, -3.5. Well, they didn't cover because they outright lost. Just like the over, we had a split 20-14. 14 took the Eagles and 20 took KC. Cashed out on me. But let's do some math.
One eternity later.
The numbers are in. The Morning Brew fictional sportsbook for one game made $4.6 million. Let's go. Ooh. Let's run through these numbers real quick though. So we started out the night with the national anthem, split across the board, right? 17-17. We collected 17 million, but we also had to pay out 15 million. You get $1,530,000 we made on the national anthem. Now, in the middle of the third quarter, we hit the over. We smashed it. And then the fourth quarter really smashed it. This is where we made the big bucks. We had 14 people bet the over, so they got their payout. We made 20 million, so 20 million minus the 14 times $910,000 is $12,740,000, leaving us with $7,260,000. Woo! Now, when it comes to the spread, right? Unfortunately, we had 20 bettors that bet Kansas City and only 14 with the Eagles. The payout on those 20 million was $18,200,000. Now, we made 14 million off of that, so subtracted the 14 from the 18, we are in the hole $4,200,000. So you take our earlier winnings, our other two bets, leaves us with $4,500,090. We're profitable. This was a lot of fun. I learned so much. This is a fascinating industry. It is so fascinating and so complex. We barely even scratched the surface. This is essentially the light version of sports books. All I know is it's complicated, but I'm fascinated, and I for sure want to do some more diving and exploring in the inner workings of sports books in the betting world. Maybe I can get a sports book to let me set my own bets, you know, but on their dime. I don't have the funds for that.